ITS in collaboration with ASST Bergamo East, Cardiac Rehabilitation Department and Telemedicine Unit of Siriate Hospital. Dr. Giudici, Viscardi, Regazzoni, Rizzola, Rocca and Bighi realized the course, telehealth, televisiting, telemonitoring and other applications. Module 3. Step-by-step actions to implement telehealth. Lesson 3.3. The medical teleconsultation between doctor to doctor. At the beginning of this lesson, we will listen to the experience of a colleague from the hospital in Siriate, Bergamo, Italy. What is a medical teleconsultation? According to the Italian regulations, the teleconsultation is a medical act in which a physician interacts remotely via a video call with one or more doctors to dialogue about the clinical situation of a patient, based primarily on the sharing of clinical data, reports, images, audio videos concerning the specific case. All the elements are shared electronically in the form of digital files on the telemedicine platform. The medical teleconsultation contributes to the definition of the report, which is drawn up at the end of the visit provided to the patient, but does not give rise to a separate report, but rather to a collaborative report, which takes into account the observations made by all the health professionals during the discussion of the clinical case. The medical teleconsultation is among the 4 minimum telemedicine processes that should be delivered in the Italian healthcare facilities. Italian regulations about the medical teleconsultations are not new. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, in 2014, the Ministry of Health issued the first guidelines. However, the pandemic gave an impulse to the development and to the implementation of telemedicine in the care pathways. Starting from 2020, more and more detailed guidelines have been issued about the matter. In the slide, the most relevant reference regulations are presented. The most schematic and simplest way to describe how a medical teleconsultation takes place is the process flow chart. Each lane represents an actor involved in the process, while rectangles represent the different activities to carry out. In the slide, we present to you a generic case in which a physician needs to consult another physician for discussing the clinical situation of a patient. First, the requesting physician calls the dedicated office to ask for a medical teleconsultation with a specific physician. The office clerk looks at the availability given by the physician for this service and the appointment is agreed. The office clerk arranges the appointment on the telemedicine platform and the physicians receive an email with the date and hour of the medical teleconsultation. Days before the appointment, the requesting physician has the possibility to upload on the telemedicine platform any clinical documentation that could be useful for the discussion of the case so that the consulted doctor can have a look in advance and be prepared. The day of the appointment, both doctors log into the telemedicine platform, discuss the case and define the outcome of the teleconsultation. If the patient must be re-evaluated, the 2 physicians in accordance define the diagnostic therapeutic pathway. In any case, the consulted physician, at the end of the teleconsultation, must draw up the collaborative report where he/she writes what was discussed during the teleconsultation and the diagnostic therapeutic proposal for the patient. The process described up to now is a general case, which examines a situation where a doctor requests the advice of another doctor through a teleconsultation by virtue of his or her specific competence. Medical teleconsultation. Examples of application. Teleconsultation physician-physician. Physicians with different specializations and expertise meet up periodically by the teleconsultation to discuss complex clinical cases, for example oncologic patients. Objective. Optimize patients' care. Optimize time and resources. Increase speed of patients' diagnosis. Increase service quality. Now we are going to illustrate 2 examples of real application of this process in an Italian healthcare facility. The first application case refers to the multidisciplinary teleconsultation, in which physicians with different specializations meet up on a weekly basis to discuss complex clinical cases, oncologic patients. The use of teleconsultation allows optimizing patients' care since all the specialists involved in the care pathway are present and they discuss among each other. The organization of weekly appointments allows optimizing time and resources by increasing the speed of patients' diagnosis. Now, therefore, the quality of the service delivered improves. Objective: facilitate communication and integration of skills between GPs and specialists. Increase appropriateness of GPs' prescriptions. The second application case refers to a virtuous example of integration between primary and secondary medicine. In this case, teleconsultations take place between general practitioners who work at the territorial level and physicians who work in hospitals. In particular, the GPs have the possibility to ask for a specialized opinion about the clinical situation of their patients by requesting a teleconsultation with hospital specialists like geriatricians, cardiologists, neurologists, and so on. The main objectives of this service are the facilitation of the communication between primary and secondary medicine, the integration of skills between GPs and specialists, and the increase of the appropriateness of GPs' prescriptions. In this lesson, we learnt what medical teleconsultation is, how it takes place and in which fields and with which objectives it can be implemented inside the healthcare facilities. We have listened to colleagues who are already using this technology effectively. Thank you. Let's see again.